What is up guys, Fi here, and today we're going to be answering probably the most asked question I ever get, and that is, do I buy Phantom Dancer, Statikk Shiv or Ghostblade? Remember as well that I have a giveaway going on for June where you can win 2 lots of $10 RP cards, and I'll put the link down in the description below so you can go over there and enter for free. So for this video I'm going to go over the Statikk Shiv and Phantom Dancer first because they're the most 2 common ones. We'll compare them and which ones you should buy, and then we'll go over Ghostblade last because it's a little bit different. Okay, so the first thing, let's go over the stats really quickly. So Phantom Dancer is 50% attack speed, 35% crit, 5% movement, and the passive ignores unit collision. For the Shiv, it's 40% attack speed, 20% crit, 6% movement, and the passive is that 100 damage magic proc, which can go up to 4 people, and it can also crit. So the first thing you can see is that Phantom Dancer is more gold efficient, it has more stats, more attack speed, more crit, and it is just way better late game. So crit and attack speed scale really well together, and it's kind of like early and mid game flat AD will provide more damage with burst and your abilities, but the later the game goes and the less important your abilities become, the more important your crits become. So that kind of makes it seem like Phantom Dancer is always better, right? But actually Statikk Shiv has a better build path, it's cheaper in itself anyway, and it's a lot cheaper when you factor in the Avarice Blade. Not only that either, but the passive proc is arguably better than having more crit mid game. It allows you to clear waves faster, and it gives you more burst in mid game team fights. Now the reason I say it's better for mid-game fights is because Shiv is probably better for short fights. So if you or the enemy team have a ton of assassins for example, and the fight is going to be over very quickly, then the Shiv proc is going to help you burst harder than having more crit from a Phantom Dancer. Another thing that's kind of the same idea is that if a big fight is about to happen, or people are now just grouping and you're not getting as much farm, then it's better to have a finished Shiv rather than an unfinished Phantom Dancer. You'll just have way more of an impact in an actual fight. Now the biggest thing, and the thing that most people don't realize, is that it accelerates your entire build and you reach your third item much faster than with Phantom Dancer, and that's really the way you have to think about it. So to start with, Shiv is already 300 gold cheaper, right? And then you factor in the gold from the Avarice Blade, which is probably another 300 gold, meaning adding those together, the Shiv itself is really 600 less gold than the Phantom Dancer. So that's 600 gold that then goes towards your next item, meaning you're going to get it much faster. So on screen this shows you what I mean. That's the total cost of Infinity Edge, attack speed, item, and Bloodthirster. With the Shiv, that total is a lot less. So that is really the reasoning behind all of it, but let's just go through exactly why you would buy each one. So Phantom Dancer is more late game damage, it's better at killing tanks if they have a tanky team, and if you're snowballing and you're ahead in your lane, then you can afford the extra gold it costs. So for Statikk Shiv, it's different things, like if you want more burst and you have a lot of burst already, like Graves or Draven, or if you need some wave clear like Tristana, if you're behind and you need to rush your third item as soon as possible, if they don't have as many tanks and they just have squishier targets, if your fights are going to be over quickly, then the burst from Shiv is good, and if teams are starting to group and you just need some damage right now. Okay, so that is the Shiv and the Phantom Dancer, and now you should have a good idea of when you'd buy each one. But what about the Ghostblade? So Ghostblade is 30 attack damage, 15% crit, 10% cooldown reduction, and 20 armor pen. The active gives you 40% attack speed and 20% movement, and I've just put them next to the others so you can see the difference. Now Ghostblade with the active on is a huge amount of stats and is way more gold efficient than the others. The problem is that it only lasts 6 seconds and most fights last a lot longer than that. So there are 3 real situations I think where you can think, okay, Ghostblade might actually be better here. Now number 1, if your team is a complete wombo combo, like they're all burst and the fight will last less than 6 seconds, then Ghostblade will give you more damage in those 6 seconds. Number 2, you aren't having big team fights around objectives, you're always fighting. So the Ghostblade has a 45-second cooldown, and ideally you want to be fighting every 45 seconds to make use of the active. So the more short fights that happen, the more use you get out of it and the better it becomes. Finally, if you yourself are a heavy burst champion and you rely on your abilities to do damage. Now the cooldown reduction means your abilities are up more often and you can use it more, and the armor pen will mean that they do more damage. The champions I'm really talking about here are things like Draven, Graves, Lucian, and even Sivir maybe as well, those that rely on their abilities to do damage mid-game. Okay, so that should give you a really good idea of when you want to be buying each of them, but if you're a little bit confused, then here is a too long, couldn't be bothered to watch the video. If you're ahead and you can afford the more expensive Phantom Dancer, then it's always better because it is more damage late game. If you're behind, then Shiv is cheaper and it will let you hit that third item faster. Have a lot of bursts with your abilities and fights are over really quickly, then maybe Ghostblade is a good idea. Well, that wraps up this video and I hope you guys enjoyed it, but as always, I'll catch you in my next video.
All the rules.